And good day to you. So, I want to welcome everybody to Monday. Yeah, it is Monday, February 28th. Very exciting day. It's the last day of February. Can you imagine? You don't have to imagine. It truly is. One more day to go, and then the end of February, and then it brings us to March. Also brings us to a rather interesting event. So tomorrow, March 1st, at the Village Chabad of Stony Brook, they have a special guest that is going to come in and give a presentation. Yes, this is at the Chabad. Yes, it is a Jewish thing. It is not a religious thing, but it's definitely a Jewish thing. But I think it's a fascinating topic that, well, even this video, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not only just a fascinating topic, but it's an important topic for everybody. So let me just bring up the flyer over here. This way you can see what that is. And let's go here. I'm going to add that to the screen. So it's Tales of a Hasidic YouTuber in Arabia. So this is Shloime Zionce. Shloime has been traveling the world doing these YouTube videos. He's also been inviting people into his world. I shared that with you the other day. Peter Santanella has come into the Chabad world in Brooklyn, and Shalome has shared quite a few videos, did quite a few videos with him, talking about what it's like to be Hasidic in Brooklyn, what it's really like to live that lifestyle, and also what it's truly like to be a religious Jew. Interesting. I thought it was really fascinating. And like, look, my last name's Cohen. Obviously, I'm a Jewish guy, but living, seeing what they actually are doing in Brooklyn, which is like the seat of everything, right? When it comes to Jewish, besides being in Israel, now come to learn that one of the other largest populations happens to be in Ukraine. But one of the things that he's been doing, and this other guy Peter has been doing, they've been creating these YouTube videos, and you're bringing, which allowing us, and what they've been doing, they've been visiting other communities that are not their communities, giving us a chance to get some insight into what it is and how it is that other people live. Kind of fascinating. Well, what Shlome's been doing has been traveling the world. So he's Hasidic. He's got payas, the whole thing, right? Yarmulke. He brings, does the prayers all over. So some of the places he's gone is not exactly mm, typical places, I'd say a Jewish Hasidic man would go. And actually, some of these places he's gone, as an American, you kind of wonder too. But he's gone. Fascinating travels. I so look forward to meeting him over at the Village Chabad tomorrow night, Tuesday night, March 1st, 7:30. Should be very, very interesting as that goes. But one of the videos I want to share here today was this whole idea of peace. Timely? Oh my gosh, without a doubt. You can take a look at Peter Santanella's videos too. Turns out he got started in Ukraine. He spent 4 years living in Ukraine. His wife is from Ukraine. One of her best friends is still over there. So very much a tied-in world with a whole lot of things. There's a lot of things we could be doing better, and we can talk about social media. We could talk about the fact that everything's on camera all over the place. Obviously, I'm a fan of that, but I think is also taking place too, is that perhaps it really, really, really is bringing this world closer together. Interesting one. We're going to save that whole conversation for another day about how YouTube has tied us all in together. Videos has tied us all in together. Obviously, business commerce has tied us all in together. That's why I can't imagine how something like this is going on. Really not. So anyhow, so this is going to be March 1st. That is tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. It's at the Village Chabad. This is in Stony Brook, right on 347. I'm sorry, right on Nichols Road, right on three. It's the intersection of 347 and Nichols Road. I should know, man. I live in the area, right? So it's just north of 347 on Nichols Road. It'd be great. I don't know how many people we could see it. It's quite a bit. But if you want to see what it's like to travel in other as in another place that you're not necessarily comfortable in traveling in and see what those challenges might be, wow, this would be interesting. If you want to see what it's like to videotape everywhere you go and everything you do as a YouTuber, well, that could be rather interesting too. If you want to see what it's like to be an Hasidic Jew, well, that's another thing too. If you want to come down and enjoy a great evening with a whole lot of great people, and these things always attract a whole bunch of great people. Uh, that's another good reason to go. I really give the credit to, and I'm going to put the video on here in a second. To the rabbis over there and what they're doing with this. There's a couple of programs at the Chabad. Some of them very Jewish, very religious. Not going to say the prayers and all of that stuff. The other thing is JLI. It's a Jewish Learning Institute, learning about what it's like to be a Jew, how you look at different things from a real Jewish perspective, religious speaking. And then these lectures that take place, and I think they've been fascinating. And obviously, I enjoyed that whole thing. But we had somebody that worked at Cantor Fitzgerald, September 11th story on that one. Had another gentleman who was a Jewish gangster, another an interesting event, on that one. And then another one who was a Holocaust survivor, talking about that aspect of it. So they've always been interesting, definitely interesting. Jewish perspective, yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, that's where it's taking place, but there's a lot of things that a lot of us could learn. And really, truly, if we really want to get this world going in a much better direction than it seems like we're going sometimes, you know what? By learning about other people, other people's cultures, other people's lifestyles, that's a great thing. Understanding where the commonalities are, oh, that's an even better thing. Everybody working together to make this world a better place. Now that's a beautiful thing. All right, let me turn this video on over here. I'm going to do a little share screen. I'm going to stop that one. I'm going to share here, share screen, share, and share alike. All right, you ready? You're going to find this one fascinating, I'm sure. Here we go.
You know what that is?
The dreidel.
Dreidel, spin, will it land or not? A Gemel Hay or Shen, the miracle of Hanukkah dwells within. When the dreidel, you spin. Nes Gadol Haya Shor Nes. When you are in Eretz Israel, Nes Gadol Haya Po. When you are Beha'olam, Nes Gadol Haya Sham.
That is correct. Okay.
So now we should say Nes Gadol Haya Sham.
I'm right now in the home of Loay AL-Shareef.
Welcome to my home.
Thank you so much.
Baruch
We have been talking for a couple months now, and we've got to know each other a little bit. But I don't know anything about your background. I know what you're doing now. I don't know where you come from. Can you explain that a little bit?
All right. First of all, welcome to my home. What do you think about the library?
The library is beautiful, and you are extremely knowledgeable person.
Thank you so much. My name is Loay AL-Shareef, and I love to introduce myself as a content creator. I create content, educational content, for learning languages, different languages, including, of course, Hebrew, Ivrit. I teach Hebrew for the beginners, or Ivrit l'matchilim, and English as well, all levels. So I love creating content for languages, because I believe that when you create when you learn a language, you acquire another brain. If you learn 5 languages, you have 5 brains. So you're more open to different cultures, different backgrounds, and you become more tolerant. So this is what I do. But of course, originally I'm a software engineer. Yeah, I know. Worked as a software engineer for a very long time. And I believe that, what's the real definition? What's the simplest definition of an engineer? The simplest, a person who designs the solution.
Okay.
So I learned from engineering to design solutions for so many things. So I really, I thank God, Baruch Hashem, alhamdulillah. I thank God for giving me these skills, different skills in different knowledgeable areas, because it's helping me in what I'm doing in my life.
Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about where you're from, where you grew up, what your ancestry is like, and all that?
It's a very complicated question, but I'll start with Morocco, because my origin, my real origin, it goes to a city called Fas, because my name is Loay Ahmed Amin Al-Idrisi Al-Shareef. Al-Idrisi,
Loay
Ahmed Amin Mahmoud Al-Idrisi Al-Sharif. Al-Idrisi is
6 or 7.
yeah. I can go back to the 42 ancestor, which is Ali ibn Abi Talib, Sayyidina Ali. So Al-Idrisi is the first. I have two family names, Al-Sharif and Al-Idrisi. Al-Idrisi is a very well-known family name, descendants of the Prophet Muhammad. They are originally from Fas, Morocco. Okay, and then family moved to Egypt. So we settled there for a very long time, and then to Saudi Arabia, and then now I moved to Bahrain. So Morocco, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain. I was born and raised in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and now I'm living in Bahrain. And I'm so proud that I contribute to my society here in Bahrain and to the Gulf states and to the Arab world as well. It's a very bit complicated, but this is what I have different backgrounds, and I'm so proud of it.
Okay, and can you take me back to your childhood? What was it like growing up in Jeddah in the 90s?
Jeddah is, whenever I go to Jeddah, I still go to places where I've been in school, in everywhere. So I love Jeddah. I love Jeddah. Growing up in Jeddah is very intimate. It's very open compared to other cities in Saudi Arabia and in the Gulf as well. I love Jeddah so much. I still love Jeddah, my favorite city.
And when I was there, it reminded me a lot of Tel Aviv. When I walked to the Corniche, I was like, I really
Corniche,
felt like
Corniche, yeah.
Corniche.
I live, by the way, my neighborhood is called Az-Zahra.
Okay.
It's very close to the Corniche. So Jeddah has always been a modern city. Even in the 90s, and now Riyadh is becoming more modern. Come on. But Jeddah has been that modern for a very long time. So I love Jeddah. I'm so loyal to Jeddah.
Okay. And you went to what kind of school?
I went to a government school. It's called Al-Thaghar. And then a private school. It's called Jil al-Faisal. Graduated from there. And because so many people ask me, why do you have an accent? I learned English through movies, by the way. You see movies? I owe Hollywood a lot. Through English, I learned Hebrew, I learned French, I learned lots of languages through English. And my degree, the final degree I got is Master's in Software Engineering from, I have it. I showed it to you.
Showed it.
Yeah, from Pennsylvania State University. So I'm a proud Nittany Lion. We are Penn State.
Nice. Did they teach you any English in school?
They taught us English, but I didn't depend on the English that I took in school because it was very preliminary. It was very, but now it's different, of course, but it was very basic English. So I relied more on movies and songs. Michael Jackson, Madonna, George Michael, my childhood heroes, by the way. Okay. So I used to listen to the song and then translate the lyrics, and it really helped very well. Just like I did with Hebrew, with Ofra Haza, with Sayyid Haddad, with so many singers in the Jewish world.
And when did you start taking your own path? Meaning, the Gulf is a very, shall I say, intimate place. Traditionally, people have just been living here, not having too much to do with the outside world. We could definitely say that other parts of the world have modernized quicker. And you're one of the leading people in the Gulf who are promoting positive and healthy change and tolerance and acceptance and just, widening everybody's horizons. When did that all start?
It started when I first started to work. You feel more independent when you work. You have money, you can travel everywhere, you can read, you can find the truth easily, and the truth will set you free. So, for example, I wanted to learn French so hard. So I traveled to France in 2010, and it was my year of discovery. Before that, believe me, I wasn't the Louis that you're talking to right now. I wasn't that open towards different faiths and different religions. I wasn't that open towards the Jews. I wasn't that open. I was okay, but not that open. Like I would repeat what everyone is saying, and this is
what were they saying?
Like the Jews are the enemies. the Jews are the enemy. The Jews and Christians are sitting on one table and conspiring against us, how to take over the world. Oh, imagine that. I was saying that. But this is what knowledge makes difference.
Yeah.
Knowledge makes a great difference when you learn more about people, when you learn their language, when you learn their culture, when you travel to their countries and cities. You have a total different viewpoint of what these people really are. So this is what I had. When I started to work, I had my own money, so I felt more independent, and I traveled. Travel changed everything.
Where were the places you traveled to?
Europe, America. I love America. So I traveled to the U.S. 2011, 2013. I graduated from Pennsylvania, and Europe, America, Canada, and also I went to New Zealand, Singapore, so many different. Last year I went to Russia.
Nice.
Oh yeah, for the world. Not last year, 2018. I went to the support. Yeah, I have. Of course, I shared it on Instagram. So support the Saudi team, and we lost 5-0.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Better luck next time.
Inshallah.
Did you guys? No, the Bahraini team just won the.
Yeah, the Bahraini team made a very good achievement. Alhamdulillah.
Loay's on two teams. He's on the Saudi team and the Bahraini team. Yeah. It's really one.
The first half, the Saudi. Yeah, of course, Saudi and Bahrain.
It's all one team.
Are the same. Yes, of course.
Okay, so you started opening up to the world, and then what happened? When did you start the academy? And
so when I opened up to the world, what happened? What happened was a real clash inside my chest. That I felt that what I was taught when I was young is totally different from reality. So when I found out the truth really set me free. So I really started to engage more with people from different faiths, from different religions. I still make videos to promote peace between the Jews, the Muslims, and the Christians, and even the different faiths and different religions. I started to learn the purpose of God better, that we are both living under the rule of God, or under the command of God, to build our societies together, and then God will judge us in the hereafter, or inshallah. It's the judgment for God. But in life, we should all work together, despite our race, religion, sex, ethnicity, despite everything else. That's not what I was having in mind when I was a kid. And then I decided to teach people language through YouTube 2013. It lasted for 4 or 5 years. And then I decided to turn that into business. And this is what the academy took place in 2019. Alhamdulillah. Thank God it's working so fine. So it's working good so far. So alhamdulillah, I'm willing to develop this more and more. And this is my message. I want to teach people languages, because when you learn more than a language, you learn more than a culture, you are more open and tolerant towards the others.
Okay. And I understand that there's one country in the world that you would love to visit someday. Can you tell me where that is?
Other than Singapore, I'm just kidding. No, I visited Singapore. Of course, I would love to visit, let's be very rational. I love the prophets, okay? I'm so attached to the prophets. When my father, Allah yarhamu, used to bring the stories of Ibn Kathir, the stories of the prophets, Qasas al-Anbiya. So I was always intrigued to know more about Eliyahu, Ilyas, Ishaya, Daniel, Moses, Moshe, Lot, and other prophets, David, Malach David. So I really had this interest of learning more and more about the prophets. And when I found out that their language was Hebrew, I loved Hebrew more and more. So I would love to visit. Medinat Israel, the state of Israel, for my love and passion for the prophets of God. Biglal Hanivi'im, Shel Elohim Adonai. Biglal, or because of my love for the prophets and the heritage of the prophets. One of the cities that I really want to visit so bad is the city where a prophet who's very glorified in the Quran, is mentioned. His name is Eliyahu. You know where he's from? He's from Haifa. Eliyahu HaTishbi. Eliyahu HaGil'adi. Right? You sing that. Linhira, Beyaminu, Yavu Elenu, in Mashiach ben David. You sing that every Shabbat, right? Yeah, exactly. So I want to visit Haifa. I want to visit Habirash al-Hamelech David, the eternal capital of King David, Jerusalem. I want to visit the city of David. I want to visit, and by the way, Elias or Eliyahu, he was sent to the people of Baal, who worship Baal,
right,
the false god. You know, there's a city in Lebanon called Baalbek.
Yes.
It's also the city that was named after the people who worship the false god Baal. So we know that's in the Quran, but we don't honor, or I don't want to say we don't honor, not so many of us honor the memories of Eliyahu or Elias, and he's a great prophet of God, by at least knowing more about him. So I learn his language, I know where he's from, I know from which disciples, from what tribe he is. I want to visit I want to visit Jericho. You know why? Because I want to relive the memories of Yeshua when he entered the promised land after the death of Moses. Yehoshua. I had a wish when I visited Jordan last week. I stood on Mount Nebo and I said, please God, I don't want to be like Moses. I want to be like Moses in all aspects, except for this one. I don't want to be like Moses where I can see the promised land but don't enter it. I want to be like Moses when I see the promised land and I enter it, inshallah.
What is holding you back from entering the promised land right now?
I don't want to do premature steps. I want to do it in the right time. And I have good relations with lots of people and I don't want to ruin anything. I want to do it wisely. And inshallah, I'm so sure that peace will happen very soon. And believe me, I will be on the first plane to go to Jerusalem. Inshallah, when that happens. And I will be, as I told you, I will visit Jericho. I will go to the Dead Sea like Joshua did. Jericho. I want to visit Jerusalem. I want to visit Haifa. I want to visit all the cities that the prophets roamed over Judea and the hills of Jerusalem, because I believe as a Muslim that I'm the extension of the Prophet. I will say it again, as I said it before on an interview. אני מאמין שהמוסלמי הוא ההמשכיות של נביאי ישראל.
And what steps do you think people need to take in order to advance this idea of peace in the region?
It's a very complicated question. It's not that easy. So I think the steps to accept each other, accept the fact that we are the sons of the same region. The Jewish people are not foreign colonialists or conquerors in the Middle East. We have to know that. They belong here. Even the Jews who are Ashkenazi or they come from Ukraine and Russia, they are originally before the diaspora, they were here.
Correct.
So we are cousins and we are from the same father. I am from Ishmael, you are from Isaac, but we both belong to Abraham Avinu, right? So we have to accept the fact that we are destined to live with each other for the days to come, inshallah, until the world to come comes. I want to say to the Jewish people that we'll continue building bridges and bridges based on common ground. And we believe that Muslims and Jews, they have so many things in common. We worship the same God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We believe that Prophet Muhammad, he came with the message of monotheism, worshiping one and only one God. This is the fundamentalist concept of Islam. We both don't eat pork. We don't do lots of things that we both share in common to be believed that's forbidden, and so many things. Of course, we have our differences, but we also have our agreements. So why do we not build our bridges based on our agreements and leave the differences, just like we have differences between all people in the world. Even in the same family, you may have difference between the brother and the brother.
Correct.
So this is the message that I want to deliver to the Jewish people. I want to hear Jewish voices that will call us for the same, that will call for more tolerance and more openness with the Muslim world. It is time for Muslims and Jews and Christians and other faiths in the Middle East.
All people.
All people. This is the Middle East that Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, talked about one day. He said that the Middle East is the new Europe. I'm so sure that MBS, when he said that, he means the Middle East that has the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims. Not only the Muslims. We are diverse, and diversity is actually a power if we use it right. And we are heading to that direction. And inshallah, I'm so sure that very soon, you and I, Shlomi, and our other good friends, we will one day have a coffee in Riyadh, and then we will take a train and have lunch in Jerusalem, and then go back to Bahrain for dinner, and in the morning prayer we'll do it in Jeddah, and then go back to Haifa maybe. You never know.
Sounds like a plan.
Inshallah, inshallah. Nothing is impossible. Inshallah. Bi'azrat Hashem.
And, to think for myself, even 2 or 3 years ago, I never would dream that I'd be sitting here in Bahrain, Hasidic Jew, dressed the way I am, you, a devout Muslim, dressed the way you are. Together, we have no problems.
That's a sign of God. That's a sign from God that it is possible. Because those who want us to fight for eternity are evil. We should know that. Fighting begets more fighting. And this is what Satan wants us to do. But God wants us to live with each other and build our societies in peace and prosper together. It's good for you, for me, for my children, for your children, and for the entire humanity.
Correct.
And the Jewish people are, as I told you, they are part of the Middle East. No one will ever be able to deviate from that fact whatsoever. The Jewish people belong here, as the Arabs belong here. We are destined to live with each other. And inshallah, I'm so optimistic that peace will happen very soon.
Amen.
Amen ve'amen.
Thank you so much.
You are more than welcome. Thank you so much.
You gotta love that, right? I tell you, it is. That's a good one. All right, let's just flip back over here. I want to bring back our invitation for tomorrow night, and that would be there. Boom. Shloime, March 1st, 7:30 p.m. at the Village Chabad. This is the one in Stony Brook. I do hope that you can attend. We get sushi, wine. Should be a lot of fun. Always is. It's a good occasion. It's very positive, without a doubt. I don't care about religious backgrounds, at all, the rest of that stuff. But one common thread on the whole thing, and that's about this whole idea of moving forward. It just is about moving forward. Yeah, if you have that curiosity about other people and other things and how to travel and how to do all the rest of that stuff, phenomenal. Bring it. Bring the questions. Bring everything. Just bring it. Bring a smile. Bring a smile. Make it happen. And I think actually tomorrow you don't even need to bring a mask. There we go. It's something new and exciting also. So we're all moving in the right direction. At least 80% of us are. There's a few holdouts on this one. So, I think it was said the other day when I was there, it's like, it's going to be tough to put down evil. But the more we could bring light to the world, the greater percentage of light there is to darkness. I bet that could be translated into many, many languages, many religions across the board too. So spread the light, my friends. All right, ready? Here we go. Tales of an Hasidic YouTuber in Arabia. Also current stuff too. It's very, very cool. There we go. Village Chabad, 360 Nichols Road, East Talk. It's sushi and wine, 7:30 to about 9 o'clock or so. Should be fun. Bring business cards too. Just never know. All right. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and we shall talk to everybody as frequently as you would like. Bring on the tomato music.